Welcome back to Free Indeed Ministry. I'm Lisa, and I'm so glad to be able to grow with you and to fellowship with you. So thank you so much for those of you who have been with me for a very long time, and those of you who are new. I really appreciate you being here. So we're going to continue on focusing on the topic of how to become unoffendable. And this is based on the Unoffendable Heart series that is taught by Pastor Mike Signorelli, and it's hosted on Pastor Vlad Savchuk's online school, which is called Vlad School. So I'm going to be linking the study in the comment section, sorry, not in the comment section, in the info section on the video. And I also will share it in the comment section so that you can log in yourself and really dive into this training and get as much out of it as possible. If you are local to the Mississauga or Greater Toronto area, you are welcome to join us. Even though we're more than halfway through this particular teaching, you'll be able to catch up with these videos as well as the training hosted on Vlad's School, so you won't be missing much. We're always welcoming others to join us around the table to grow and learn. So definitely, if you're in the area, please don't hesitate to come on out. There will be information in the info on this video about the upcoming dates that we're meeting in person. So anyways, let's get right into the topic, becoming unoffendable. So last week we talked a little bit about offense and what that involves. I should say last lesson. This lesson, which is the second lesson, is going to dig in deeper as to how do our expectations of others result or contribute to our offense. So that is my question for you. Are you finding that when you are offended, is it because the person has not met your expectations in some way? And how do us holding expectations of others lead to our disappointment and frustration in others? And if that happens, how do we respond? So my question for you is, when someone disappoints you, how do you respond? What is your natural go-to reaction? I know for myself personally, if I'm disappointed, it takes a lot to really disappoint me. I don't expect a lot of other people because oh goodness, my chair. This chair keeps sinking, so you'll notice I'm getting shorter as the video goes on. For me, when I'm disappointed, it really depends on who it is. You know, if it's someone that I've put up on a pedestal and I am really adoring them in a lot of ways, then the disappointment is really, really deep. But I've learned to not expect a lot from others because then I get disappointed and then I'm frustrated with other people around me. So it's a bit of a vicious cycle. And really what it comes down to is that when our identity is threatened, we try to assert control. Like we try to take back control of our environment, of ourselves, of the people around us, because control in a lot of ways equals safety. So most acts of aggression, whether it be verbal aggression or whether it be physical aggression, they're triggered from threats to someone's identity and ego. So really, as Christians, our greatest affirmation needs to come directly from God and not from people. And the thing is, our need for approval and our worries about what other people think of us or our reputation it leads us to become defensive, right? Because we're trying to measure up to some dubious standard, kind of keeping up with the Joneses, or, you know, we have expectations, and when those aren't met, we become defensive, and then that's when we react. We become reactive. So it's really important not to put our identity or have our identity rely on the opinions of others. And this kind of ties in closely with narcissism, because someone who is narcissistic is extremely concerned about the superficial and how they appear to other people. It's more about the appearance than it is about the genuine goodness, loving, kindness, etc., that they're showing other people. It's about how it looks on the surface. But narcissism is another topic that I'm hoping to get into and do a bit of a deep dive in, because I've been learning a great deal over the last few years and reflecting back on my life as someone who had a pattern of being in relationships with narcissistic people, and who I seem through my life, it seems like certain types of people seem to be drawn to my personality and who I am. And I'm sure there's part of that is I'm also in my past was attracted to certain qualities in people that led me to learn some really hard lessons. But I digress. We'll come back to that another time, because that is something that is going to take a really deep dive. So going back to identity, if our identity is based on the opinions of others, we are going to be very vulnerable to react and become defensive. So it's really, really important that we go to God with our offenses rather than lashing out. It's important to realize that I need God's grace as much as the person who's offended me. We all need God's grace, and we need each other's grace, because not one of us is perfect. Some of us may have a better appearance of doing fine on the surface, but we're all struggling. We're all broken in our own way. We all need God's grace. And so when you realize that, it allows you to be in a position of compassion and empathy when you are dealing with an offense. It's really important to understand and expect that others are going to offend you. Offenses will come. You will be hurt by others. Guaranteed. I had a friend say to me once, this person's disappointed me, that person's disappointed me, my family's disappointed me. You're the only one who hasn't disappointed me. And I looked him straight in the eye and I said, I will disappoint you. Like, it's a guarantee. Please do not put me on a pedestal. I am not perfect, and I will screw up, and I will disappoint you, and I probably will offend you, not deliberately, but when you expect that others are going to offend you and disappoint you, you don't put them on that pedestal, because no one is perfect. We're all going to fall short. So, yeah, expect to be offended. That's really, really important. Even by the people we love the most. In fact, especially by the people we love the most. Back to what I was saying earlier. When I feel the most defensive and hurt, it's by the people that I care about the most. Because those who are not in my immediate inner circle, it's much easier to have that emotional distance and not take things personally, because they don't know you personally when it's an acquaintance. But when it's, your husband, your wife, your children, your parents, your best friends, these are the people that they're close enough to that they can cause harm. But something that's been very helpful to me is just realizing that I can either expect the worst out of people. So I know I just said don't have expectations, but this kind of ties into, when people put someone on the pedestal, that's one type of expectation. But there's other people who expect that everyone is out to hurt them, that people have the worst intentions all the time. So it's almost like the flip side of that coin, whether it's, expecting perfection and putting someone on a pedestal, or expecting the worst out of everybody that you meet and that crosses your path. it's one extreme or the other, but again, it's two sides of the same coin. Expectation is what leads to disappointment. Really, I mean, this expectation, this is part of our heart. It's at the heart of the offense and our ability to be offended. And is that only Jesus can really heal this chamber of expectation. We can't fully do it on our own. Offense is really an opportunity for healing, because when we pay attention to what offends us, it shows us what areas of our heart still needs healing and what we still need to do work on within ourselves. So it really is an opportunity. Have you ever had an argument with someone and it was really about something else? Like the argument was minor, but it was about something much deeper, maybe something that had been lingering under the surface. And you're having an argument based on the premise of A, but it's really about B. And the other person may or may not have any idea what the subtext is or what really is behind what you're upset about. And that really goes to say, like we kind of build these things up, minor offenses up, and small offenses become much, much larger because it's like, a ball of tape rolling down a hill and it's picking up, lint and everything else, like sticking to it. That's really what small offenses become. They end up all these little offenses that don't get dealt with in the chamber of our heart. If we're not taking it to God and having Him do the work within us, these offenses can really fester. And it's like a rot within your own heart. It's a diseased part of your heart that until you take that to Jesus and ask Him to do the healing within you, it's always going to be diseased. And even if you're doing well in a lot of other areas of your life, this diseased part of your heart is going to lead to a lot of strife and pain in your personal relationships. So it's really key that we ask the Holy Spirit to come into our hearts and shine a light on the broken places and heal those broken places in order to become truly unoffendable and have an unoffendable heart. So I pray that this gives you some food for thought as we take this journey in becoming truly unoffendable like Christ. And the next topic that we're going to be digging into is we're going to be looking at another chamber of the heart. So we looked at the chamber of expectation. The next part that we're going to be going into is the chamber of judgment. And I look forward to speaking further with you. Thank you so much for joining me today. And again, the information on the video will be the details about our upcoming in-person Bible study group, which is going to be on Saturday, March 29th. And then the next online one is going to be Saturday, April 3rd. So thank you so much, everyone. One other thing I will mention, I would really recommend, if possible, that you go to Vlad's school. And if you are enjoying the content there and you're finding that it's helpful, please make a donation to Vlad's school, whatever amount that you can, because he's providing all this information for free at absolutely no cost. And it's a way for us to reach as many people as we can to help them on their healing journey. So thank you so much, and God bless you all, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Bye.